on the House, because the House cannot begin Congress. They cannot start their 2023 sessions without a House Speaker. The new Congress people that were elected during this midterm cannot be sworn in, right?
They
So,
can be sworn in, but
um,
the
mm-mm.
problem is that, see, there are procedures that Congress set up for this, but the matter that is at the bottom is it's determined by the Constitution itself, and there's not much in there about the procedures other than as they determine them to be.
I've read up on this.
Now, here's
Nobody cannot be sworn in until the House Speaker is selected and voted in.
well, that's the House Speaker. Somebody has to conduct the proceedings. But the point is, there's another little technicality. How did the first Congress get sworn in? Because there was no preceding speaker, there was no one sitting in a seat, and they had to establish all of this at the same time. So I know what you're talking about, but in law school, we always had this thing about what if.
Okay,
And
so this is my thing. This is my thing. Today, January the 5th, Thursday, this is the 8th vote
mhm.
that Kevin McCarthy is not, he doesn't have all the votes. He needs the majority. He needs all the Republicans to vote for him to be House Speaker. 20, there are 20 Republicans holding out. They're calling them the Taliban 20. They're towing the line. Chip Roy is one of them. Matt Gaetz.
Why don't they get a new somebody submit, say, look, let's caucus. This guy's not getting it. This is getting embarrassing. Let's get behind our closed doors and pick somebody else. What is it? Trump's behind this guy from California. And
So
why does he have to be the one if he does not have the ballast of the party able to get him in? So what is it here? We are all putting it in terms of he's the one that has to make the compromise. No, see, in the House, these people are in there for 2 years at a time, and they're staggered, so everybody isn't on the same election cycle. So let the members of the House in the Republican Party come up with another selection. I think maybe one or two more efforts, and if it doesn't come up, retire to Chambers and offer something else.
I was going to ask you, why did the majority of the Republicans pick Kevin McCarthy to be the House Speaker for the Republicans? Why did they pick? I was going to ask you that. Why did they pick him?
Because they simply aren't in touch with the public any more than the Democrats are in touch with the public. Too much. We've got this battle between extremes and the middle, with people who aren't really in the middle trying to claim that space because they want to be safe. They want to be reelected because they like their jobs, but that's not necessarily offering the people an opportunity to straighten this mess out, because right now being a centrist is effectively, quote, same old, unquote, which gets us nowhere past this impasse that we are in right now as a people, as a republic, and as a culture and a society. And frankly, nobody wants to really bring out what the schism is about. Those who say, let's destroy social fabric because we want all holds to be taken off when it comes to expected behavior. And the other group is saying, we don't quite want you teaching the children that, but we're scared to say that. So there's that, not elephant in the room, but that glimmer in the back, it comes after you get a rain, and
Also,
that's
well,
what the problem is.
okay, so the majority of and I also heard Kevin McCarthy is a good fundraiser. um, and also, so the majority of the Republicans are voting for Kevin McCarthy, right? The 20, they're calling the Taliban 20 in Congress, particularly one Representative Chip Roy out of Texas. They don't like him because they believe he is too much of a moderate. He's too much of a kumbaya, siding with the Democrats, and they want a hard hitter, you know, to make sure that the Republicans legislation is getting pushed through, and someone who is going to oppose a lot of the Democrats legislation. Just real quick, it says House to return as McCarthy offers new concession. The California Republicans signaled he would give in to more demands from hard right rebels in a frenzied effort to win enough votes for the speakership after losing a 6th consecutive vote. So he's basically saying to the 20, listen, I will give into what you want me to do as House Speaker in your favor if you give me your votes. So do you think McCarthy is too much of a moderate? And maybe that's why?
Well, Second Amendment, no Second Amendment. Fourth Amendment, no Fourth Amendment. 15th Amendment, no 15th Amendment. 14th Amendment, due process, no due process. That's what the schism is. Rainbow, no rainbow. Rainbow, accommodated rainbow, but decency for the children and everybody else in the republic. Those are the main things that are on the line. Throw in this thing about resurrecting Roe v. Wade on the federal level, and you've got what this mess is about. And that is causing a great divide in the country. And we have a situation where the party that is nominally in control of the Democratic Party is pushing a position that probably impacts about 5% max of the people of this country. And they and nobody else got that concerned about what impacts a larger percentage of the country, meaning
Mm-hmm.
black people. So, what are we supporting a party that hasn't done anything for our people and seems to be prone to taking down all people in the interest of a revision to human normalcy? So that's where we are. Or you could flip that and say, I'm talking something that's caveman and, I'm passe and we need to move on, but this move on is not working. Massive inflation, unemployment, under education of the public, corruption of social standards, extreme violence in the streets.
Mm-hmm. So I wanna go back though. I wanna just flesh out this House Speaker. We don't have a House Speaker. It's Thursday.
Well, look at the good side. The way things are now, if these folk can't do business, they can't make mischief. So maybe we need to hope that this continues for a while. Say,
No legislation can be
yeah,
passed
yeah.
until a House
What
Speaker.
are they passing? Because whatever they pass in the House is likely to run flat up against the wall in the Senate and vice versa. So, and what's likely to go through is some more stupid nonsense. Like,
If we just 2023 is going to be a ping pong in Congress. If we pass it through the House, it's a Republican bill that the Democrats is going to pass on
well,
and vote against in the Senate. If the
I
Senate,
don't
which is
think it's going
Democrat,
to be
pass
ping pong.
it, the House is going to vote against it in the House. So
Let's go to a pro tennis match. Bounce, 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 serve. The ball hits the net. Nothing happens.
So my question is,
Bounce,
wait,
serve,
wait, wait.
out of
So
bounds.
that's a great. So my question is Representative Kevin McCarthy, maybe he is the right guy to bring some type of
I
bipartisan, not
think
on
he is.
everything, huh?
I don't think he is because he hasn't shown what leadership is necessary, what firm leadership is necessary to bring about his own selection.
Okay.
And by that, I mean this. Traditionally, all of this nonsense would have stopped because the person that was supposed to be the speaker was privy to the skeletons in the closets and the graveyards, and he could bring that knowledge, acumen, and personal charisma to bear to dictate what happened. This guy just doesn't have it.
Don't judge him, Joe Brown.